We have finally made it. It's been a long off season since like February 12th. I think the Super Bowl was. We're here. There's an NFL football game on tonight, and it actually matters. I know I'm super excited. I know Austin's super excited. I know a lot of people are super excited because football is back. And today, Austin and I are recording our first pick'ems of the 2023 season. So we're a lot of excited. We're really excited. It's going to be a great time. This is K&A Football. All right, Austin. So, like we said, there's a game on tonight. I know I'm been counting down the hours all day. It's been a pretty long day waiting to get to 8:30, but we're only 3 hours away from the season officially starting, so it's pretty high.
Yeah. I was. I didn't really realize how soon. I mean, I guess I was ready for the season basically, but um, I didn't realize how close we were. Last night I was setting my fantasy football lineups, making sure everything was the way that I wanted it to be before things got set for the Thursday night games, and it just happened to be that while I was on the app, it finally rolled over from 1 day down to 23 hours and 59 minutes right as I was on the app, and I was like, oh boy, we're here. There's a game tonight. Super exciting.
Super exciting. So, without further ado, should we just jump into tonight's game, the first game? I know that we've made a graphic, just the same graphic that we used all last year. So we're going to try to get that to work online. Margaret's behind the scenes, working pretty tirelessly. So hopefully that's working. Hopefully the audio sounding a little better than last week as well. Still working on that. But without further ado, do you want to jump into picking tonight's first game? Lions at Chiefs.
Yes, Lions at Chiefs in Arrowhead. Obviously, a tough environment to go play in. See a lot of people posting on Instagram things like, looking for another 2018 Mahomes
Yeah.
matchup. I mean, if you remember that game, there were over 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah.
Of total offense, over 100 points scored. Then people want that, and I feel like there's definitely a chance that it happens tonight. I mean, Detroit had one of the most high-powered offenses of all last year. Chiefs, obviously, as well, though they don't have Kelsey in this game. But I guess
potentially,
it's suspected that they won't have him. He's like a very true game-time decision. He just had like an MRI earlier today, so they may not even have like the full results yet. So it will literally be at 8:19 is Kelsey going on for the first offensive snap. So definitely a chance for another crazy big game. For me personally, I think that this game could go either way. I really do. I don't really trust the Chiefs defense, if I'm being honest here. But I really don't trust the Lions defense either. So at the end of the day, Mahomes is Mahomes. And so I will go with the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be disappointed if the Lions won.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I'm going with the Chiefs. I mean, both offenses are great. Like you said, the Lions had one of the best offenses last year, and we know the Chiefs obviously have a great offense. But the Lions' defense last season was ranked bottom 3 in the league. Like they were a pathetic defense. But over the offseason and the last few weeks of the regular season last year, the Lions got a lot better and they got a lot of hype, and that's why the media has completely hyped them up. That's why they're playing on this opening Thursday night, because all the media really seems to believe the Lions are just going to be these, like, all of a sudden they're going to be dominant. They're going to be like, forget the Lions of the last 60 years. They're actually a good team now. I am not jumping on that bandwagon yet. I'll gladly jump on if it actually happens, but I think people are a little too high on the Lions. I think it's going to be a good game tonight, especially if Kelsey doesn't play, but I'm also picking the Chiefs. I think no matter what, they got Mahomes. The opening game of the season, they'll be unveiling the banner for the Super Bowl. I mean, the place is going to be going absolutely crazy. So I think the Chiefs will win. Yeah.
Yeah, totally with you there.
Yep. And then we move on to Sunday's games, which is obviously every single team plays this week. There's no bias. It's week 1. So moving on to the first game that we have on the slideshow. I did not do this on purpose. It just happened to be the first one on the slideshow. Panthers at Falcons. Bryce Young's first NFL start, going to Atlanta, and Bijan Robinson, who was the 8th overall pick, is playing for Atlanta. So what you got there?
I think that you hit on a very important point there. It's week 1, all the teams play. I feel like that week 1 thing that you said is very important because basically all of these picks that we're making are just off of how did the teams do last year and what do we think players are going to do this year that we haven't seen play. So most of these are just coin flips, if we're being honest here, because most of them are good games. And like we saw last year with like the opening Thursday night game, we saw the Bills play the Rams, and the Rams were supposed to be like, we're going to defend, the Super Bowl, we're going to go back and we're going to win it again, and then they, didn't, and they sucked. So
that's right. I forgot about that game.
So it's like really anything could have happened over the offseason. Any team can be any way going in. It's called Any Given Sunday for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that, like, even if these picks don't go well, I promise week 2's picks will probably go better. But getting back to the game, Panthers at Falcons, I see a lot of people who are saying that, they believe in Desmond Ridder. The Falcons say they believe in Desmond Ridder. Like we said on Saturday, we don't believe in Desmond Ridder. I believe in Bryce Young a lot more than I believe in Desmond Ridder, and Bryce Young has never played an NFL snap. So,
that's got to tell you all you got to know about how confident we are in Desmond Ridder. Yeah.
So, with that being said, I will go with the Panthers. They are the underdog in this matchup, which is a little surprising to me, but I'll go with them anyways because I do think that they're the better team.
I like that pick. I'm also going the Panthers. It's week 1. Yeah, obviously it's week 1. I'm not gonna be unrealistic all season. There's gonna be games that I'm obviously gonna pick the Panthers to lose, but it's week 1 and they're playing a very below average team. I mean, to be fair, we don't know what the Panthers are. Bryce Young's obviously a rookie. They have a whole new coaching staff, whole new wide receiver staff. So we don't know what we're gonna see out of this Panthers team. What does concern me, quarterbacks. There's a stat that I saw. Quarterbacks who have been drafted first overall and started week 1 for their team that year that they got drafted. Do you know what their record is in those games? There's been 14 quarterbacks who have been picked first overall and started week 1 for their team.
It was concerning. I'm gonna go, 2-12.
13-1.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I do think that Bryce Young, this might sound really stupid, but Bryce Young mentally, they're saying he processes so fast. He's so good up here. He's so smart that I think it's not going to be the biggest jump from having to process in college to the NFL. Obviously, it's going to be harder and tougher, but his offensive linemen at Alabama were on average size or bigger than his offensive linemen for the Panthers. So it's not like he's having to look over these new linemen now. Obviously, the D linemen are better, but I do trust Bryce Young, like you said, a lot more than Desmond Ridder. I said last week, I'm pretty sure that I think Desmond Ridder is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. One other thing that a little kind of concerns me is that today, obviously, it's just practice. It doesn't matter that much. But our number 2 receiver, DJ Chark, he hasn't practiced all week because of a hamstring injury, and it's looking like there's a really likely chance he doesn't play. And also today, Adam Thielen, who's the number 1 receiver, he didn't practice because of an ankle, but they're saying that's not severe, and they're saying he should play. But regardless, if you're missing one of those 2 guys, we already don't have the most dominant receiving core. We have one of the bottom 5 receiving cores in the league, and if you start losing guys already off of already pretty bad receiving core, that's you're going to start hitting the struggle bus because then you're going to really have to start bringing in Walmart employees. I know we make those jokes all the time, but they seriously would have to start considering. So with all that being said, I'm still taking the Panthers. Still don't trust the Falcons. So, yeah.
If I remember correctly, next up is Bengals at Browns, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, so Bengals at Browns. I'll let you talk first before I give my take on my team this time.
Yeah, so I could really see this one going either way. I thought a lot about this one because obviously we know the Browns have the Bengals number. It seems like every single time they play. But last year they did split, and it's okay, I don't want to pick the Bengals because the Browns always just manage to beat them. and then also Burrow coming off of that calf injury. It's a little
Mhm.
concerning. You know what? I picked the Bengals, but now me explaining this is making me go back. I'm gonna pick the Browns now that I think like I've just completely gone against what I had originally planned on doing. Burrow's calf injury, it's concerning to me. Man, yeah, whatever. Burrow's calf injury is concerning to me. The Bengals started really slow the last two seasons. Um, Sean's finally had a full off season. He's going to play. I think Elijah Moore is going to be great. Nick Chubb. The Browns tend to have their number. It's in Cleveland. I'm going to pick the Browns. And 3 minutes ago, I was going to pick the Bengals. So here we go. I was not expecting that.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear you say all of that. And I wish that I was saying the same.
What? You're not picking the Browns?
No, I have the Bengals in this one. Yeah, hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully the Browns win. But unfortunately, I do think, and like, I just don't know. It's really hard for me. Like, there's a lot of people. You see it on social media. You see it on NFL sites. You see it on all like sports things. Like, a lot of people are hyping up the Browns. Like, a lot of people. And I'm really happy to see that. But as a Browns fan, it's really, really hard for me to ever think that we're actually going to be good. Like I can say it all I want. It's like, oh, yeah, this is our year. But every time that it's our year, it's not our year. Like we then win like 5 games. Like so, it's really hard for me to trust. But I do think this is the best roster the Browns have had in a very, very long time. All that being said, I do still have the Bengals because at the end of the day, they do still have Joe
It's
Burrow.
true.
They do still have Jamar Chase. They do still have T. Higgins, and they did get rid of Eli Apple. So it's like, as much as I'd love to be wrong and I'd love the Browns to win, if you look at it from just a numbers perspective, and knowing that we don't know what the Browns are going to look like this season compared to last season or the season before or anything else, I have to go with the Bengals just because it's a safer option. But I really hope that I'm wrong and the Browns win.
Wow. Last year, I don't think you went against the Browns a single week.
I definitely did. I definitely did not.
I don't know. And look where you ended up doing that. So maybe you're starting to mature a little bit.
Turn over new leaf. Maybe I'm gonna pretend like I'm playing it smart, but realistically, it's gonna end up hurting me, and the Browns are gonna go, 17-0, win the Super Bowl, and I pick against them every year or every week, and it's gonna hurt me in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. If that happens, totally game for it.
Totally worth a Waffle House 24 hours. Absolutely.
Definitely. And by the way, if any of you have an idea for what punishment we should do again this year, check out our Instagram, KA_football, and let us know what punishments.
There's been some good responses. Some of them semi-legal, So obviously those will not be happening. But some of them are very funny. So yeah, make sure you just keep submitting those in.
Yeah. Next up is another division rivalry. It's Jaguars at Colts. And I feel like we're probably going to have the same opinion on this one, but I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I really don't think this one's going to take that long to talk about. The Colts drafted Anthony Richardson at 4. He's one of the biggest project quarterbacks we've seen in a while. He might end up amounting to being a great quarterback. We really don't know. But especially for this first season, he's going to look very bad, very rusty. He could barely win or complete a pass at Florida, and now he's going straight to the NFL week 1 of on top of all of that. So we both are very high on the Jags. I had them finishing first in the AFC regular season this season. So I got the Jags winning this one. Not really a close game. Trevor Lawrence making that third year jump. He made a great jump last season to continue to get even better. I think the Jaguars will win this one pretty sound.
Yep, totally on board. And it's, again, I love thinking back to last season when we thought that the Colts were going to be the stuff, with Matt Ryan being a, quote, not the problem quarterback, and Jonathan Taylor. And now Jonathan Taylor, is going really late into the draft, if at all. The Jaguars are like everyone's lock to win the AFC East. AFC South. I mess that up all the time. They're like a lock to win AFC South. So it's like how quick things happen in a year. But yeah, totally have the Jaguars.
Yeah,
Well,
you love to
I don't
bring
think
up
the Colts are gonna
you
do
love to
very
bring
well.
out how we always said that he's not the problem quarterback. How about you just like hide our mistakes, not show them to the world every
No, because
opportunity we get.
no, everyone else thought that too. Everyone else thought that Matt Ryan was a not the problem quarterback, and it turns out he was a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love bringing that up.
It's fair.
Love bringing it up.
All right. So the next game we got here, Tampa Bay versus the Vikings. The second non-divisional game that we've talked about. So the Bucks going into their post Tom Brady era, and the Vikings going into the Justin Jefferson is going to become the greatest receiver of all time era. So what do you got? I feel like again this isn't going to be much discussion unless I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think there's going to be much discussion here. I got the Vikings. I think that they'll win. I think they'll win pretty handily. No offense to Baker, but
total offense, Baker.
Even if the Vikings defense isn't all that great, I don't feel like the Buccaneers are going to be able to put up the number of points that Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins are going to put up against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and don't even that's just the two of them. That's not even accounting for Jordan Addison or Hawkinson or Madison. Just the two of them, I think, will be able to outscore the Bucks.
Yep. So congratulations to everyone who had the 1-1 and correctly chose Justin Jefferson. You're going to have a great week this week.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll have a great season. I obviously have Vikings as well. The Bucks. Yeah. Any team led by Baker Mayfield most likely will not be getting the win from me unless you're playing like Arizona. So sorry, Bucks. I got the Vikings.
Yeah. Next up, another non-division game. We have Titans at Saints. I'll let you go ahead with this one.
I really thought about this one because, if we see the Titans who we kind of are used to seeing, the Titans can easily win this game. I mean, Derrick Henry can prove that he can win you games. I know that's kind of going against what we kind of said last week, but Derrick Henry can take over games and can win you games. Ryan Tannehill can help you win games as a quarterback. He's not Matt Ryan. He's an actual not the problem quarterback, but. And the guy, DeAndre Hopkins this year, they have a great coach. So I really want to pick the Titans. But last time we saw the Titans, they went on a 7-game losing streak to end the season and miss out on the playoffs. That, regardless of how hard you think about it, that stays in your head. And the last time we saw them, they were on a 7-game losing streak, like I said. Terrible way to end the season. They still had Derrick Henry, and still nothing was happening. So as much as it pains me to say, because this game is the Saints have a very easy schedule this year, and this is one of the quote-unquote tougher games on their schedule. Like, this could go kind of either way. So I'd love to see the Titans win it because I like to see the Saints lose as many of those 50-50 games as possible. But I think the Saints are going to win. They just have the much better overall team. The Titans have Derrick Henry. They have the best player on the field. But as a team, the Saints are much better. I think they have the better quarterback. Chris Olave, I think he's going to make a great jump this season. Unfortunately, I think he'll make a great jump. I got the Saints, but I think it'll be a close game.
Yep. With you there. I have the Saints as well. I think Derek Carr, first game, probably wanting to prove that it was the Raiders' fault, not his. So he's going to want to come out. He's going to want to prove something. Michael Thomas, first game, starting a season in at least 50 years where he isn't injured to start the year. So, yeah.
He'll play till halftime. He'll play
till at least halftime before he gets turf toe and it puts him out for the season. So I do have the Saints. I don't think the Titans are going to do anything spectacular. I mean, they do have DeAndre Hopkins now, so that is, one bright side. But, like I said, triple team DeAndre Hopkins, put the other, 8 people on the line to stop Derrick Henry.
It'll probably be fine.
Moving on, we have 49ers at Steelers. Nick Bosa just became the highest paid defensive player of all time.
Dude got a lot of money.
What was it, 150 over 5 years?
I think it was 170.
I think it might have been 170. 170 million over 5 years.
The base salary is $34 million a year, which is a lot of money for a defensive end. A lot of money.
Yeah. So, I think he'll probably come out and feel like, yeah, I deserve this. Which, fair enough. He does deserve this. So I think that he'll go sack. Gosh, I almost said Mitchell Trubisky. He'll go sack Kenny Pickett. Mitchell Trubisky was last year. He'll go sack Kenny Pickett about 1,000 times this game. And I'm excited to see Brock Purdy play again. I don't know. Some people aren't. I think you're one of them that isn't really that high.
Yeah, I'm not very high on them.
But I think that it's a fun story, and I want to see him succeed. Okay, so
No, I'm rooting for him. Come on, I'm not rooting for his downfall.
I just
hey.
So I got the 49ers in this one. I think the Steelers will finish last in the AFC North, and not only do I think that, but I hope it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agreed with you on the finishing last in the AFC North, but I did say last week that they have a great division, and I only had them 2 games off of first. That's how great that division is. And if we think back to the last couple of seasons, the Steelers always start off good. Week 1, the Steelers are always playing their A game. Last year, did they tie the Bengals or beat the Bengals? There was that crazy. Yeah, I think they beat the Bengals last year in Week 1.
And there's a bunch of missed field goals, right?
And TJ Watt's playing. Their record with TJ Watt versus when he's not playing is actually like insane. Like they're like 10-2 when he plays, and then like 5-11 when he doesn't, which is like crazy. But so TJ Watt will be playing in this game. Kenny Pickett, at least from what we've seen in training camp and preseason, looks to make a huge jump. He looks incredible. All the Steelers always play well in Week 1, and if we remember last season, the 49ers, yes, it was Trey Lance playing in that game, but Week 1 they did lose to the Bears, and the Bears went on to have the first pick and only had 3 wins the whole season. It's a little concerning. They also did play in a monsoon, so you got to give them that. They also didn't have McCaffrey, but there's a good chance that George Kittle doesn't play in this game. He's hurt. Brock Purdy is a 7th-round pick. I think a lot of the reason he was able to just flow great last season was, one, there's not a lot of tape on him because he had started mid-season. And like I said, the product around him, and he just kind of jumped right into it. I think, one, the nerves are going to be high because he knows that, okay, I'm the only guy. It's either me or Sam Darnold. So if I mess up, then I'm letting the whole team down because it's not like they can just put in a new guy, which, I mean, you can say that that's going to relieve some stress off of him. But I think the pressure, the moment's going to be too high for him. And I think the Steelers are actually going to pull one of the bigger upsets of Week 1. I think the Steelers will win.
Really? That'd be fun. It's a fun take there, Caden. I think you're probably going to be wrong, but that's a fun take. I like that.
Got to take some risks.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I just looked right at that and I was like, Steelers. And I was like, why do I not think the Niners are going to win? But maybe it's my disbelief in Brock Purdy. But yeah.
Maybe. It's your hate. Here's one that's probably not that big of a risk. Cardinals at football team. And I think that every single week, until they prove me otherwise, which I don't think will be this year, I will pick whatever team is playing the Arizona Cardinals to win. So I have the football team winning.
Yeah, we might as well, every week when the Cardinals come on, we got to like adopt something that's like we say every week, or just like skip or something like where we know like, okay, we're not picking that team. Like something. I don't know. We got to think of something, but nothing to talk about. There is one thing. Did you hear the thing about Caleb Williams' dad, who came out and said that if that obviously if the Cardinals have the first pick next year, which it's pretty inevitable that they will, there's a good chance that he'll just stay at USC for a year, which I think would be so funny. That'd just be the biggest troll to the Cardinals. I mean, you're terrible. You're like, okay, at least we're going to get this elite quarterback and things will start turning up. No, this elite quarterback's going to stay in college. So now we're going to have to endure this awful season for a whole nother year. And how funny would that be if he stays in college for a year, Cardinals have the first pick again, and then he can't stay. And then he ultimately still ends up having to go to the Cardinals. I don't know. Pretty funny.
Yeah, but I feel like even if the Cardinals won that first overall pick, it may be in their best interest to try to trade it away.
They could get a lot for it.
Just a year ago, they paid Kyler Murray $250 million.
You're right.
Over like 5 years. So like that's a lot of money to just throw out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be advantageous for them to go ahead and trade it away if they do end up with it. Get a lot for it because Caleb Williams is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. Everyone thinks so. So would not be a bad move.
Yep.
But it's a conversation for later. Texans At Ravens, I feel like I can probably guess who you have, but I'll let you go ahead and say it.
Yeah, you're right. I got the Ravens. And I did notice, I think the Ravens every year have the easiest week one game ever. This year, obviously, they're playing the Texans. Last year, they played the Jets when the Jets had Zach Wilson. The year that the Dolphins were like a terrible team, they played the Dolphins week one and they put up like 60. I mean, I don't remember a Ravens having to play a tough team week one. It's like, wow, they always get to start 1-0 with a cupcake on their schedule. So I got the Ravens. We both don't think the Texans will be very good. It's CJ Stroud's first start, so it'll be fun to see how he does. But I got the Ravens pretty handily.
Yep, with you there. Got the Ravens for sure. I mean, and Lamar's actually healthy, and he has a bunch of new weapons to play with. So I think that he'll fully enjoy that until he gets hurt in week 3. Then we have Packers at Bears, and judging by our conversation on Saturday, I can guess who you have as well, and I think you might be able to guess who I have.
Yeah, well, most of the media, they're kind of high on the Packers and really low on the Bears. I don't know if it's because we're Justin Fields stands. I don't know what it is, but we are both very high on the Bears, like more high than a lot of the media is, and it kind of is a little concerning because if the Bears end up sucking, we're just going to look like absolute idiots. But on the flip side, if the Bears are good,
I thought about that yesterday.
If the Bears are good, we look like ESPN needs to hire us because we are over here predicting good season from the Bears and bad season from the Packers. So this is kind of a fun game to put week one because obviously the Packers have completely owned the Bears for so long because of Aaron Rodgers saying the whole we own or I own you or whatever he says. And now obviously Rodgers is gone. The Bears we think tend to be looking up. So I am going to have the Bears winning this one. I heard something from Harold last night, who's been on the podcast before, which he'll appreciate this little shout out then. He said something of, he thinks that the Bears are going to win. He thinks that Aaron Rodgers is going to go and completely troll the Packers. Like the first game that he's not there, they end up losing to the Bears, which that wouldn't surprise me because Aaron Rodgers is a very cocky and arrogant and lame dude. But I got the Bears. No, the lame part, got to add it in.
Not the lame part. Can't add that in there. Yeah, I'm with you. I have the Bears. I think that playing with a chip on your shoulder is a really good incentive on trying to win. So I think Justin Fields, knowing all of the hate, all of the disbelief, he's got a new wide receiver to play around with. I think that Bears are going to come out. They won last week in week 1, had a lot to prove there, ended up not finishing the season the way they wanted to. I think they're going to come out swinging again. Big, rivalry game for week 1. Lot on the line. I think the Bears win.
Yeah, division's
I think it'll be a fun game, no matter what.
Oh yeah,
very fun game. Next up, we have another divisional matchup. We have Raiders at Broncos, and for me personally, I feel like this game's kind of a 50-50. I don't necessarily believe in either team a whole bunch, but I do believe in the Broncos a lot more than I believe in the Raiders. I don't think Jimmy G is a great solution to your Derek Carr problem. They do still have Devontae, they do still have Josh Jacobs, but at the end of the day, on the other side of the ball, you have one of the best defenses in the NFL from the Broncos. You have Sean Payton, who came out of retirement for this. Russell Wilson, hopefully he's trying to prove something, either that or he's just on his way out of the league. I don't know. And he actually has healthy receivers too. So that's huge. Like last year, his receivers just were not healthy. Starting week 1, they're healthy, ready to go. So I have the Broncos.
Well,
I think
Jerry Jeudy is a little bit not healthy. I don't think Jerry Judy's playing in the game.
He's more healthy right now than he was all of last year.
That's true. In my opinion, this is the most boring week 1 game. I mean, obviously I'm going to watch because it's a football game, obviously. But when Red Zone flashes to this game, I'm going to be like, turn on another game. Because this one, at least in some games, they're like, yeah, it's going to be a blowout, but at least they got a rookie quarterback playing. In this one, you got the Broncos who are like, okay, they got a new coach. We'll see. They might be a little better. And you got the Raiders who got a new quarterback, but it's Jimmy Garoppolo. So what are they really going to do? I think you got two teams who are battling for 3rd and 4th in the division. I got the Broncos winning this. I just think they're better than the Raiders, and they got a way better head coach. But yeah, kind of a boring game in my opinion. I think the Broncos win though.
Totally agree. Next we have a rematch of Super Bowl 50.
Two.
Was it 52? I was gonna say 51.
Yeah. That was good. I completely forgot that was the Super Bowl. You're right.
Yeah, I think 51 was Falcons.
51 was Falcons Patriots.
Yeah, 52 was Eagles Patriots. Eagles are the away team in this game. Patriots are at home, and just like that Super Bowl, I have full confidence that the Eagles are going to win.
Yeah, because everyone has full confidence in Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the bigger blowouts of the week. Eagles should be easily able to steamroll them. What is interesting about this game, though, is Tom Brady will be back at the stadium. He's going to go and get, I don't know what he's doing, inducted into the Ring of Honor. I don't know. He's doing something at the Patriots game, so I'm sure the stadium will be sold out. But then by halftime, they'll probably leave because they'll be like, okay, we suck. So Eagles by whatever they want.
Eagles by until they pull Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown out of the game because they don't want to get him hurt because they're already up 50.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Next up, we have your boy. We have Dolphins at Chargers.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a really fun game. This might be one of my favorite Week 1 games. The Dolphins have a very fun offense, and Tua isn't injured yet, so obviously he'll play. Justin Herbert. Okay, I'm not going to say it every single week, but I am a big Justin Herbert fan. I believe that he's going to have a great season.
A Justin Herbert biggest fan counter.
Yeah, no. But I think the Chargers are going to win this one. I think they got the better offense. They got the better defense. Their coach is a little questionable, but they got a new offensive coordinator for Justin Herbert, so I think that can completely upgrade the offense to elite status. None of them are injured yet. Mike Williams isn't hurt. Keenan Allen isn't hurt. They got a new rookie wide receiver. I'm expecting big things from the Chargers, and I think they'll get a Week 1 win.
Yeah, totally with you on everything you said, other than the Justin Herbert fan part. I think that this is going to be a really fun game. I hope that this is another high-scoring game, and I think it has full potential to be. And I'm with you again on that the Chargers are going to win. Other than their head coach, I think that they're a little bit better of a team, and I think they're a little bit more well-rounded, a little more complete, and assuming Tua doesn't get his head hit on turf again, it'll be a really fun game.
Yeah. Should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
This one will not really be a good game. The Rams at the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp is not playing in this game. He is hurt. Yeah, and so now the Rams offense is kind of non-existent. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, totally fair.
So you got the Seahawks who are going to have a dominant offense. They got obviously Geno Smith, he got his big boy contract this offseason, so he's an actual quarterback now. Obviously DK, Tyler Lockett. They brought in Jackson Smith-Njigba, who was a beast at Ohio State when he actually played. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, a rookie running back they drafted. They got Gray on defense. We both think the Seahawks are going to be nice this year, and I think that they'll pretty handily beat the Rams.
Yep, completely agree. Not entirely certain who Matthew Stafford is going to throw it to. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little concerning.
But
I can't say Walmart anymore. We've used that too much.
Target employees, which is a whole other can of worms of employees. Yeah, don't think the Rams are going to have a great year. I don't know what Matthew Stafford is still doing playing. I guess just collecting his paycheck at this point. I don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah.
Waiting till the day he gets hurt, I guess. I don't know. Wait till he retires.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll request one more trade before his time is up and try to go to a team that's one quarterback away. Maybe if the 49ers don't pan out this year with Brock Purdy, he'll request a trade over there, win another Super Bowl there, and then ride off into the sunset. But anyway, Seahawks by a million.
Yep. Now, don't let this next
Right.
game trick you. The Giants are home in this game. I had to put them first because if you put them over the blue, they're actually like invisible. It's so dumb. So it's Cowboys at Giants, and
Yes.
this is Sunday Night Football. You wanna go? You can go first on this one.
All right. Um, yeah, Sunday Night Football, under the lights, big
I
game.
wonder why they
I
picked the
mean,
Cowboys on Sunday night. That just so surprising to me.
oh yeah, it's really shocking that quote America's team, even though most of America actually hates that team and hates their fans, does not like that team. Um, but yeah, big game. Danny Dimes trying to prove that he is worth the money that he was given. A lot of people are having a hard time believing that. I think he's a fine quarterback, very serviceable, but not deserving of the contract he got. But like we said, when he got the contract, good on him. Like always hoping the guys get their money. You got Saquon, you got really the entire Giants offense trying to prove the entire Giants team, sorry, trying to prove that last year was not a coincidence. Everyone ruled them out as like, Seahawks aren't winning a game, Giants aren't winning a game, and then they surprised us every single week by winning games. And we're like, oh, and then they made it to the playoffs, and then they actually won, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of crazy. So they're trying to prove that last year wasn't a coincidence. But on the other side of the ball, you do have the Cowboys. They're newly Zekeless. So, Tony Pollard is the running back as he should have been all of last year. Got Dak
Mm-hmm.
Prescott, who hopefully won't throw 10 interceptions, or so he says. I kind of hope he does. Not going to lie to you guys. Um, and their defense is just as stout as it was last year. So, in the end, I think it'll be an entertaining game. I hope it'll be entertaining, but I do have the Cowboys winning.
Yep, I agree with you there. Obviously, the Cowboys were my Super Bowl pick. I think they're going to be incredibly good this season, and I'm not very high on the Giants. I think they got a little lucky last year and just were squeaking by every
Yep.
week. It didn't really make much sense to me. The Cowboys defense is much better. Their offense is much better. The only thing the Giants really got is Saquon and I guess they got Darren Waller over the offseason. So hoping he pans out because I have him in my money fantasy football league. So kind of hoping for a good Darren Waller showing. But aside from that, Cowboys will. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I think the Cowboys will
I
win.
can get with that. Yeah. All right. And then our last game of week 1, big headliner. We have the Bills at Jets. I'll let you start this one off.
Yeah, like Austin said, big headliner, probably the most hyped up game of the week. I don't know why the NFL put it on a Monday night instead of like Sunday night or Thursday, but whatever, put it to the very end, make people wait for it, I guess. Obviously, the Jets were on Hard Knocks this season, so everyone knows all the stuff about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers was shoved on everyone's TV, and everyone's like, "You're gonna watch Aaron Rodgers," and that's what had to happen. So everyone knows about the Jets. Everyone knows Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets now. They're very hyped up. I had them going to the Super Bowl, I still really can't believe I did that. The Bills, obviously, every season they have Super Bowl aspirations. They're always Super Bowl or bust, and every year they've been bust. I think that both of these teams are going to be good. I had both of them making the playoffs. Um, it's interesting because normally, like, it's a new quarterback and he's gonna have a lot of nerves because this is a very hyped up team. This is all the talk was all off season. I feel like nerves will be in effect, but at the same time, I think the Jets are a much better roster than the Bills. Their defense is great. I think they have the best corner duo in the league by a long shot. I think they'll easily be able to stop Diggs and Gabe Davis if that's still who the Bills' number 2 receiver is. Josh Allen throws a lot of interceptions as it is, so I think Sauce Gardner and what's his name, DJ Reader or whatever his name is going to get at least 1 interception, maybe 2 on Josh Allen. And I think it's going to be a really fun and interesting back-to-back game. But I got the Jets winning at home.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with really everything you said. But for this game, I hope the Jets win. I'm a really big fan of Aaron Rodgers.
See, I'm not.
I am. I'm a really big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I'd love to see him succeed. I'd love to see him win at least one more Super Bowl before he retires. But for this game in particular, I have the Bills. This is the only game where I'm just going off of a feeling. This is kind of like my test. I'm like, eh, this one's kind of can go either way. I'll go off my gut this one, and see how my gut does this year opposed to last year. So if I get this one right, you're gonna see a lot of wild picks for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see this one going either way. There's a lot of 50-50 games this week, but there's also a lot of blowouts. But regardless, it doesn't matter because football's back, and that's all that matters.
Yep, that's all that matters. And like I said, it is week 1, so anything can go anyway. Maybe the Jaguars are really bad. I doubt it, but maybe they're really bad.
Nah, I doubt it. But yeah, there's a chance.
Maybe the Jets defense gives up 100 points a game. I doubt it, but it could happen. We haven't seen these players in so many months. We just assume that everything's going to go the way that it was going when the season ended last time. So a lot can happen, but like you said, overall we're just very excited that football's back. Been counting down the minutes until Thursday Night Football kicks off at 8:20 tonight.
2 hours and 18 minutes away.
Yep, super exciting.
This video will probably be out later tonight or tomorrow morning, I'd assume. So you guys probably already know the result of that game. So hopefully Mahomes went crazy for my fantasy team. Hopefully it was just a fun, high-scoring football game to watch just for any normal fan.
Hopefully the Lions backfield rushed for over 200 yards. Man, my fantasy team would go crazy for that. Yeah, exciting stuff. But I think that's all we have. Went and picked all the games. Real excited to get this year kicked off. And remember, go check us out on Instagram, KA_football. Make sure that you vote on the poll that'll be out very soon on what punishment we should do for the Pick'ems this year. We know that the video of the punishment last year didn't get out on time before Debbie
It's
left
still not
for
out.
his missions trip. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
it's still not out. It's really good.
Yeah, according to Debbie, it's very
wouldn't
good.
know.
We wouldn't know because we haven't seen it yet. So maybe within the next 7 years, it'll get out to you guys. But we don't focus on the past. We focus on the present and the future. So make sure you go follow us on Instagram, vote on that poll. And assuming that's all we have, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of K&A Football. You can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and we're also active on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you. You're a real one. We'll see you next time.